My parents divorced when I was young, and I suffered some abuse and a little trauma. We moved to Australia when I was 12. I was a very depressed teenager at 16. I was on the probation list at high school. Then, one night, I found this article in a local paper about an introductory lecture for mind development. I thought, my soul spoke to me, I have to do this. I was the youngest person in the room. Definitely not a cult. It was taught by a psychologist. For once in my life, I felt palpable peace. I think the sign of success for men these days and women is inner peace. Self-love is not selfish and it's not narcissistic. We say the most horrible things to ourselves, but it's a deep-seated belief you are not worthy and you don't deserve happiness or peace. But at the dark night of the soul, we only see what we lack, inner peace, and it's not that hard to get. It's actually probably the easiest thing you can do.
So if there's a man struggling there and he's lying there tonight and he's kind of hard on himself, what would be your advice to them? This is it. That's for you, and you can sit anywhere you want.
Thank you.
Right.
Oh, lovely. This is great.
Then we'll just get a quick picture, Gene. Welcome to another episode of Walk With Me, Brother. Very excited to have today's guest on. Today I'm walking with Kathryn Ramati to talk about calm, strength, and what real inner leadership looks like. Today's talk is about a different kind of strength. Not pushing harder, not controlling more, but learning how to be steady when life gets loud. I'm talking with Kathryn, a meditation and sleep expert, author and wellness educator who spent decades teaching people how to calm their nervous system, soften their inner dialogue, and build a peaceful relationship with themselves. This conversation isn't about escaping stress or sitting on a cushion. It's about leadership, how we speak to ourselves, how we regulate under pressure, and how inner calm becomes clarity, better decisions, and stronger relationships. Because the way we treat ourselves in private shapes how we show up everywhere else. Kathryn, thank you for coming in and sitting with us today. I really appreciate your time. How are you?
Well, I'm great, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Appreciate you. I know you're super busy. I know you've got a very busy schedule. You've got a retreat next week, which we'll get into. But I just wanted to, first off, thank you. I am personally intrigued by this conversation because this is something that I need in my life. So hopefully there's other men out there watching this where they're going to learn something today. What I'd like to do, Kathryn, with every guest is just you take us back, introduce a little bit of where you're from, where you grew up, and what it is you do today in your own words.
Well, I have an unusual childhood in a way because a lot of people say, where are you from? And that is actually a difficult question for me because I'm not sure how to answer it. I was born in Ohio, and my parents divorced when I was young, and I suffered some abuse and a little trauma, and we moved to Australia when I was 12. So I was a foreigner in another country, and I grew up in Australia, and I ended up living there 30 years.
Wow. Thank you for watching Walk With Me, Brother. We are a relatively new podcast. Without your support, without your help, we cannot grow. So please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Please share our episodes. We've got every single week. We have entrepreneurs, doctors, veterans, people, experts within their field, all talking everything related to mental health. So if you haven't catched our previous episodes, go and watch them now. But follow us along and please support our amazing journey. I was just there in September. Yeah. Whereabouts in Australia?
In Sydney, and I lived in the northern beaches. The North Shore is where I went to school, and my parents settled there. And but I was depressed as a teenager. They made fun of me. Australians can be quite cruel to people who are from other places, and they called me Yank septic tank. And it took me a while to make friends and pick up the Aussie accent so people could understand me, even though it was English. Yeah. I didn't understand them, and they didn't understand. It took a long time. But anyway, eventually I became an Aussie, and but I was a very depressed teenager at 16. I was on the probation list at high school. Me and my friends were getting high, skipping school, and I was I was about to get kicked out. Then one night, I found this article in a local paper about an introductory lecture for mind development. And my parents had some background in mind development with a multi-level marketing company they were involved in. So I'd heard about it and I thought, my soul spoke to me, I have to do this. Somehow I was able to go. And it was basically a conference room in a hotel for 2 weeks, mainly meditating the whole time and learning different types of meditation, mind development techniques, how to access memory banks, how to heal yourself, energy stuff. And I was the youngest person in the room, but definitely not a cult. It was taught by a psychologist. Anyway, I went back to school. I got rid of those friends. I was jogging on the beach every morning before school. I became a vegetarian. I was doing yoga. And my grades went through the roof because I knew how to study.
Just overnight?
Yes, pretty much overnight. It was miraculous.
Wow.
Meditating every morning before school, meditating every night, visualizing my goals, learning how to get a handle on my own self-love. And for once in my life, I felt palpable peace. I was taught how to access that inner peace. And for a disturbed, teenager, that was everything for me. And I was so enthusiastic. I ended up not only not getting kicked out of high school, but I went to college. I ended up going to University of Wollongong, got a BA in psychology because, of course, naturally I wanted to learn more about the brain and the mind. And I was teaching kids in my dorm room how to meditate because, it was just something I was passionate about. And still to this day, that's where that passion comes from.
Wow. So how long, when was it then you moved back to America? How old were you?
Well, I ended up finishing my degree in the States as an exchange student in New Jersey and moved to Boston. So I worked in Boston for a few months. I had a lot of friends there. But then in my 20s, I moved back to Australia and I ended up working there in television and also met a couple hundred. My first husband was English. And then my second husband was Australian. And so I had 2 children, one by each, and lived in Bondi, owned a couple houses in Bondi and had a great career there. And then my husband said he wanted to work in America. So we ended up moving back because I was a U.S. citizen still, even though I had a permanent residency stamp. We moved back to Boston, and my kids were raised in a great little quaint New England town called Andover. And my daughter learned to synchronize swim at a big team in that town when she was 5. And last year, she ended up earning an Olympic medal.
Wow.
In Paris.
That's amazing.
So the
Congratulations.
whole family got to see her win a medal.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it's been quite a journey.
Wow, congratulations. You must be very proud.
Yes, I had to mention it because I'm bursting with pride still.
That's huge. Wow. Well, good for you.
Thank you. I could talk about it all day.
5 years old, she's been doing it.
Yes.
How did she get into that?
Well, it's in our town at the YMCA, had a huge competitive team, and she was there for little swimming lessons every Sunday. And she'd walk by the big pool with the big kids, and they'd be in their sequins and practicing for a competition or show. And she wanted to do it, and then she just took to it, and she was actually very talented at it and was invited to join the competitive team.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
So I am proud of her. She's my inspiration in many ways.
Oh. And where is she still over in Boston?
She's actually, since she won the Olympics, she went to college on a scholarship at Ohio State University. And she swims for them now.
Oh, wow.
And then I have a son in
big
Boston.
bragging rights on her swimming team now when she pulls that out.
Oh, yeah. A silver medal.
You got one of these?
A silver medal. She's like the queen of the team. She'll hate me if she ever sees this. She'll be so embarrassed. But my son is in Boston, and he's a cancer scientist.
Oh, wow.
So I'm extremely proud of him,
Look at
too.
that. I'm sure you are. You've done something right along the way there.
I know.
So.
I have a few tricks up my sleeve.
You have to give me tips.
They're like, how did this hippie mom end up having us?
Well, you're doing something right, so it's on you. So
I got lucky too. A lot of it's luck.
I don't know. I mean, I've got, like I said to you off camera, I've got a 4-year-old, 1-year-old, and I know how much work goes into your kids. And I don't. I mean, yeah, you can be gifted, but I think you shape them so much in how you act, right? And it's not just how you kind of look after your kids; it's how you act as parents. And I want to be a motivator for my kids, and certainly my son, in the sense of, well, I'm running across the country, right?
The thing about parenthood is it's never going to be perfect, and you are never going to be perfect. I was never perfect, and we have to. This is what the book is about that I wrote. Is about accepting your imperfections and being perfectly imperfect.
Okay, so you've just given me this now. I'm going to ask you to sign this for me.
Yes.
Self-love, path to peace, befriend yourself. Okay, so let's talk about the book. When did you write this? What made you write this? What's the book about?
I've been writing a book for a long, long time. It's changed, morphed from a memoir into a practical handbook, mainly because I used to work at Kaiser Permanente as a health educator.
Oh, wow.
And I would teach evening classes. And I found that I would teach insomniacs and people who are suffering from obesity and had to lose weight, and people who suffered stress and anxiety and emotional wellness classes. I found that no matter what the imbalance was, that the doctors would send them to my evening classes. The one common thread was a lack of self-love. Because when you love something, you take care of it. And these people who came to my classes, they were out of balance. And to get back into balance, love and care for whatever it is. And it's you and your body, you and your sleep, you and a relationship with yourself. That's where it begins. So I turned this book into a practical guide for people who are beginners on this wellness journey.
That's definitely me.
There's so many experts out there now, and people know so much, but there's still, everyone I taught at Kaiser, I would sneak in gratitude exercises or affirmations and certain things. This all new to them. And meditation was a new thing as well. And my focus now is making meditation mainstream.
If you are struggling right now, or if you know somebody who is, please talk to somebody. Please reach out to someone. Talk to a friend or call a trusted helpline. In the US, you can reach the National Crisis and Helpline by texting and dialing 988. If you're outside the US, you can find help on findahelpline.com, and I will put all of that information in the description below. So please reach out to someone if you're struggling or if you know someone who is. When we talk about meditation, because I just told you off camera as well, like I have to do mine guided. How would you describe meditation? Like, what is meditation? Is it just, because I thought for years it was just sitting there in silence and trying not to think about anything. What, as a kind of an expert in your field, which you are, how would you explain what meditation is?
Well, meditation has so many misconceptions and myths that we could talk about as well. But basically, when you ask what is it, it is access to inner peace. It's a path to peace. And there are many paths up that mountain and many types of meditation to get there. And people don't realize that. They think there's only one way, and you have to empty your mind, and that's it. And I can't stop thinking, and so I'm no good at it, and I can't meditate. Hear that all the time, because that is a myth, a misconception. Anyone can do it, because you're not ever going to shut down your mind unless you're dead. Your mind is there for a reason. It's your thoughts pop in, but what it is, it's a matter of detaching from those thoughts, recognizing those thoughts, noticing them, getting to a spot where you're a witness of those thoughts and you don't believe everything you think. You don't even know where some of these thoughts come from.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
we put way too much importance on it. We end up going down this rabbit hole of negative thinking usually. And we have 100,000 thoughts a day.
Yep.
Half of them are about the past, where we're, depressed about. You can't change it. You can't control it. So in the future, you can't control that either. You can budget for it, you can plan, but you don't really know what's going to happen. So it's a matter of, instead of trying to control everything, it's a matter of knowing nothing's under control and staying in the present moment. So meditation is present moment awareness, which I also use the term mindfulness.
Yep.
And I have written an article to describe the difference between meditation and mindfulness. It was in the Best of Yoga International magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And because a lot of my students say, what's the difference?
Yeah,
they get it mixed up.
that's exactly the question
That's
I'd
a whole
ask.
new podcast.
Okay,
That's too
okay.
long. But they are similar, and they do combine, and they're separate too.
So, one of the reasons I wanted you to come on my show today is because I really want to learn about this. Something like I've said to you, like, I really want to learn about this. I want to learn about self-love. I've not spoken to myself very well in the past. Now, how would someone who doesn't speak to themselves very well, who has a lot of self-loathe and, if you like, hatred towards himself, and this is not just a 1 minute thing that you have to change. It's something that I'm in process of. But what would, now I've got you on here, what would be the best advice for you, for someone like me, where I've not been my best friend in my head?
Well, I have a graphic in my book called The Cycle of Self-Loathing that you may be familiar with, and I think everybody has been in that cycle. Mm-hmm. And it can become a very vicious cycle, but there are many ways out of the cycle. The first one is what you mentioned. I think the best one is self-talk. Catch yourself. If you can have enough self-awareness to catch yourself, even if it's 5 minutes after you called yourself some pretty nasty names, that's a start. Eventually, you'll catch yourself sooner and sooner, because we do save our worst insults for ourselves sometimes when we make a mistake, or it's not even a mistake. I don't even believe in mistakes, actually. I think everything is how we learn. Every experience, whether we label it good, bad, toxic, whatever, it's just an experience. It's just a learning curve, you know? So if you think you made this big mistake, watch. What do you say to yourself? And then think, okay, if my best friend did that, what would I say to that guy? What would I say to that friend? And you would say, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You did the best you could. You're making a big deal out of nothing. You know, lighten up. It's fine. Look at you. You build a case. So in my book, I explain how, almost like you're in a courtroom, you build a case for yourself. And you usually, your negative thinking is out of control, and it's not even true. These thoughts might be real, but they doesn't mean they're true. You know? So pick and choose helpful thoughts. Be your own cheerleader, you know, be your own self-motivator. And, you know, journaling is good too, to write it down like, hey, I made this huge mistake. I'm a big dummy. I will, blah, 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 you know, get it all out, and then look at it, walk away, maybe the next day look at it and go, oh my God, I was so hard on myself. I don't deserve this. And then write down what you do deserve. What would someone that loved you so much say? And what we want to do is start embodying that love for ourselves. And it doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't. And, you know, I have a 10-part lesson course on Insight Timer for self-love, which I honestly kind of based the book on that. And I always say it's a lifelong process. You're not going to be instantly, unconditionally in love with yourself after 10 lessons.
No, for sure. It's like I say, it's definitely for me, it's been a very slow moving, and it's getting there. It's getting better. But I mean, I would love more tips from yourself. But obviously, I'll read the book. Is there, I mean, we talk about meditation as regulation, not as an escape. Is that right?
Absolutely. I first treated it as an escape.
Yeah.
As a depressed
That's what I thought
teenager,
it was. Yeah.
It was a total escape for me. Absolutely it was, and it can be. And what a lovely escape, because it has so many health benefits, mentally and physically on your body. So it's fine to escape. And But a lot of people use drugs and alcohol to escape, and they're slowly killing themselves. But if you listen to a beautiful guided meditation, and you're off and you're in your imagination and visualizing nature, your mind doesn't think it's a fake. It thinks it's real, and it starts to produce endorphins and dopamine and serotonin and all the happy hormones. And you can use these beautiful guided meditations for healing, just for escapism, to get back centered, find your inner peace. It could take as little as 5 minutes, even. Not you could do a 2-minute meditation, and you could get really good at it. And then you open your eyes, and all of a sudden, the world does look different.
I was going to ask you, like, is there a certain amount of times everyone should be meditating a day? Do you think?
Well, a lot of meditation teachers will say, wake up in the morning, and start your day on the right foot, on the bright side of the road. And you find that when you start doing that and you miss a day, you notice it. And it can be like 10 minutes of quiet time. Listening to one of your favorite guided meditations, doing a breath, listening to music. And there are many, many different ways to meditate. But yes, they say that you're walking out with like a loaded gun if you don't meditate first, because you're open to being, buttons are going to get pushed, and you lose that self-control if you.
So for me, then it would be to probably not, because like I said, I've been doing more stuff before I go to bed. So instead, you would advise from someone like me is 10-minute. Like I said, for me, it has to be guided. Otherwise, my mind just goes off in like a million directions. So guided, 10 minutes, that's enough. Start your day off before anything really.
Absolutely. And I've got long meditations I've recorded, but I've also now have shorter ones, specifically for people like you who are super busy. But and I use binaural beat music in the background all the time. So no matter how stressed you are, it will help lower your brainwave frequency and get you deeper, quicker. So that's good. I do in the morning, and then I recommend people do it around 3 o'clock, because that's where our natural system dips energy-wise, as we know. And instead of filling yourself up with caffeine and sugar, that's going to cause you to crash and keep you up all night. Instead of that 3 o'clock caffeine, do a 3 o'clock meditation. Find a quiet space. Go sit in the car if you can't find anywhere quiet at the office. Sit in the car and do a power nap, I call it. And I've recorded one called Power Nap.
Are these on YouTube?
Not on YouTube, but they're on my app called Tranquil Me.
Okay, I'm going to put a link to your app.
And Insight Timer.
Okay.
Which is the #1 free app in the world for meditation.
Somebody gave me that, Susie. Do you know Susie?
Susie from Unplug?
Yeah, after this show, she actually gave me your app. I don't know if you've had her on your show, Susie Lapolfi.
Oh, I have spoken to her.
Yeah. She gave me after we did an episode, she gave me your app.
Oh, wow, that's
the
so
timer.
Cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, as soon as we left here, we walked out the door and she said, you've got to download this.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Small world.
Well, I'm in there. Have you listened to it? That's my voice.
Yeah, that is nuts. All right, I didn't join the dots. Okay.
Yeah, that is nuts.
All right, small world, see?
Yeah. So that's the 3 o'clock meditation. Okay. And then at night, because a lot of people, their head hits the pillow and boom, the movie of the day starts playing on the ceiling. And you start, going through everything, trying to fix everything, whatever, trying to plan for tomorrow. It's ridiculous. So I have a beautiful sleep meditation that starts out with a body scan. So pretty
much three sessions a day, if you like.
I think so.
All right. So I'm going to start today. So this is interesting for me because I think I've been fighting noise and I've been fighting time and I've been fighting the self-loathe. So all of these things, the self-talk, how does the way we speak to ourselves, do you think, affect how we show up?
Well, first of all, the language you use, like fighting everything, Rob, I would like to offer maybe surrendering is a better word, and letting go and not being such a control freak. Because when you're fighting, it causes stress. And you need to let go of that tug of war, let go of the rope, be more trusting, be more flexible, more open and spontaneous for other things to come into your life that are going to make it easier, and be more trusting. And I think visualization is a good thing, goal setting, but then just stop fighting it. Fighting is the wrong word. So choose your words wisely.
Yeah, it's good advice. My mum actually said when I was born, I came out fighting, and I just feel like
Isn't that funny? You're a fighter.
it's weird. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
fighting every day. I said to
Yeah.
someone recently, I think I'd be great working in crisis management. Like that's just how my life's been. I want to change. That's not the way I want to be. Certainly now I've got kids, so everything I'm doing is trying to improve myself and things like this. And I know I can only speak. I speak on behalf of men's mental health, so I can only relate to men with mental health struggles, but I know this will help them. I know these kind of things, but it's resetting our brain. It's almost like coming up with these new initiatives.
Well, you find when you start meditating too, you open up this creative part of the brain. And you open up to fresh ideas and new opportunities and connections and networking. And all of a sudden, you're open to creativity. And you're more creative. You get problems done quicker, and they're solved easier because you stop trying to control every little thing and micromanage it. And I think that men need that help, but it's help from within, you know.
Yeah. So why would you say that the self-talk that men, especially, I mean, I don't know about women, you'll have a better idea on the women. Why do you think that creates so much anxiety with men?
Well, men are under a lot of pressure. I mean, that's why my retreats are co-ed. We every gender, and we're 50-50 men and women, because I feel that women all love these retreats and they're growing spiritually, but men have to provide. That's a lot of pressure. That's not easy to do in this world. And they, have a lot of self management that they have to do, but they're giving to their family, to their friends, to their work and colleagues, and to me in this podcast. You're constantly giving. And we forget that you're at the bottom of that list. And you need to be at the top of the list because, that's what we need you to be happy and healthy and peaceful, because we all depend on you, all of us. So we need you at your best. And forgetting about yourself is not the way to go. Being self-love is not selfish and is not narcissistic. And men are very worried about those terms. A lot of men get labeled wrongly with those terms. And I think that it's important that they lighten up on themselves a little bit, have a little bit of a sense of humor about when things go wrong. And I think we need to inject more comedy in our lives. I mean, they could even pretend, like men could pretend, oh, I'm in a sitcom. What kooky thing's going to happen to me today? Something wonderful is going to happen today, instead of, oh my God, today's going to be
Always starting there with
another
a negative
fight.
Yeah.
Fighting this person and
I
that
used to be like
person.
that. Yeah. Oh, what's gonna go wrong today? That was the first thought of every day. What's gonna happen to me
Now,
today?
isn't that a wonderful way to start the day?
Yeah.
What do you expect? Of course. So I think in this life we have love, that we work from love or fear. Those are the only two things. Because I love the Course in Miracles, and that's the basis of the book, is love or fear. So you're making decisions fear-based. Worst case scenario, which we are bombarded with, is society in our culture, with the news all the time. I always tell people with anxiety, first thing, how much news do you watch?
I can't watch it anymore.
Because during COVID, everyone's 24/7.
Yeah, I can't watch
we all
it.
got addicted.
Can't watch it. I can't watch the news.
No, you cannot watch
Nope.
it. No,
I just stay off it. I mean, that's probably been one of my saving graces over the last year. Just I don't even look at it. I'm just. It's hard because it comes up on social media a lot, but that was one of my biggest things, is just staying off that, because it's just so much toxicity.
Yeah, it's debilitating. It causes anxiety. Everyone now has a low level of anxiety in the world, and we need to turn it off. I think the sign of success for men these days and women, but men, is inner peace. And it's not that hard to get. It's actually probably the easiest thing you can do.
When someone says to you, and this is something that maybe I've asked before, when someone says to you, oh, I can't meditate, it's not me, I can't, I've tried it, I can't do it. How do you respond to that?
I say, well, what do you do for relaxation? And quite often, especially men, type A, they're very athletic. They always have that athletic um, sort of activity, and they make time for it, and they prioritize it, and they book it in like a doctor's appointment. So, oh yeah, every morning at 6 a.m. I'm in the pool doing laps. Or no, I go for my jog every morning at 5 a.m. Or I'm on my bike after work. I do my bike, I do 5 miles, whatever. And I'm like, that's your meditation right there. Because that sort of level of exercise is stress relief. And as long as you're not freaking out up here while you're doing it, it's meditative. Because especially doing laps in a pool, if you can use a mantra while you're doing it, or even counting, will keep your brain from, the overload, the overthinking. As long as you're not beating yourself up while you're exercising.
I've done that. Now when I'm running, I'm certainly doing long distance, I'll count. I'll count to 100, and if I lose where I am, I just start back at 1. And it's my way of not thinking too much if I'm in pain, not having this go do lally, not worry about the time that I'm running at. But yeah, it's just something that I learned when I first figured out how to do a half marathon. Just count. That's all I do is count some days.
So it's like a chant. It's like mantra. And I love Indian mantras and chants because they're musical and they're repetitive. And they get you into that groove, like that flow state. And you can do that while you're exercising. So that's one piece of advice. The other piece of advice is everybody can do it. And we talk about the myths and the misconceptions. You don't need robes and beads and incense. You don't need to believe in anything, at all. It's not about beliefs. It's about going past those beliefs. It's about letting go of your outer identity for a little while. Doesn't matter what your gender is, your race, how you look, where you come from, your occupation, your religion, and your bank account, what car you drive. All that stuff is outer identity. And what you do is when you close your eyes, you slow down and limit the stimulation to the brain. So closing your eyes is pretty important. And then right away, your brainwave frequency will come down from the really high scattered space it usually is in. And you bring it down to an alpha theta level with the binaural beat music usually, and then a guided meditation. Just have someone talk you through it. It's that easy. I highly recommend them. And you get to that inner peace. You feel it. It flows through all the cells of your body. Your mind, body, and spirit become more aligned. And you feel grounded and centered. And hey, you can handle anything after that.
For me, whenever I'm stressed or depressed, the first thing that kind of hits me is my sleep. I can't never sleep properly. Why is that? Why is sleep why does that always have this knock-on effect with us?
Yes, well, the thing about sleep is people don't realize what you do during the day affects what happens at night. And so that's why having meditation and relieving stress, because you cannot avoid stress. There's no way. You probably heard this joke, but it's only one place where all these people with no stress live. And you can go there and visit them. It's called a cemetery. They're the ones with no stress. But the rest of us, yeah, of course, you can't avoid it. It doesn't matter. You go on vacation, they got the hotel rooms wrong, whatever. You lose your bags. It's going to happen. So what we have to realize is we need to manage that stress. And that's self-awareness, becoming more aware of where you hide your stress in your body, what's going to trigger the stress, taking deep breaths, all these little tricks that you can do to get it back into equilibrium. Because the human body is constantly putting us back in the equilibrium, and it's up to us to put our mind in that state too.
We always say stress is the biggest killer, right? That's what you always hear people say.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, that's what the doctors even say now. And meditation is a scientifically proven method of stress relief.
So what would be, from that statement there, would you say what practice is the most important? Is it meditation? If somebody had to take one thing away from today's episode, what would be the one practice that you would advise them to do?
Well, I think a meditation, find a voice that you like to start with. Insight Timer app is a good one. They have thousands of teachers to choose from. And I would say start with just a few moments. See how easy it is and how you feel. That'd be it, and lighten up on yourself. That is my number one thing. When you're stressed, you could watch a comedy, have a laugh. Someone told you, go to a comedy store, nightclub, and it just lighten the people. Lighten up. It's not that bad, Again, life is too short.
So why do you think people hold on? What do you think they hold on to emotionally to keeps them so stuck then?
Yeah, it's self-loathing.
Is it?
It is. Yeah. It's like you don't deserve to let it go. You deserve to suffer. It's this deep-seated belief that you're not good enough and you deserve to suffer and, you're this and that. We say the most horrible things to ourselves, but it's a deep-seated belief you are not worthy and you don't deserve happiness or peace. So we need to get over those blocks by, first thing, how you self-talk. Also, it's years and years of negative thinking, so we need to play affirmations repetitively. I've been sleeping at night with 8 hours of affirmations playing subconsciously.
In the background?
Yeah, while I'm asleep. Like there are all sorts of YouTube ones and on apps. And I will do all sorts of affirmations for everything because I have years and years and years of programming to get through too. Because the brain is like a computer and it came with some automatic programs. When you cleaned up and took it out of the box, it comes with all sorts of regular programs that you need in a computer. But the brain is like that. Breathing is a program, digestion is a program, replacing skin cells. But then we start adding programs of our own at a very young age. Like we hear our parents saying, oh, you're just like your Uncle Fred, you're no good, you're lazy. And we don't even remember them saying this, but it's all going in, filing it away in the back. And we're not blaming them. No reason to blame anybody. It's just a matter of being aware and saying, that's not true. I used to believe in the Easter Bunny too and Santa Claus, but, I don't anymore. So we can move on. We can believe in what's true now.
So with parenting then, what did that teach you about patience and control?
Yeah.
What's that taught you?
Well, patience is, of course, you're a parent to say that first. Yeah. I didn't think I had any patience. So now we do because we have to.
I was the most impatient person ever, but that kids is definitely crazy how it does that, isn't it?
Yeah, me too.
Now I can stand in line and for ice cream and not get bothered by it, and just because my kid wants it, or be at a traffic light and not stress about it. Or have my kid in the back of the car crying he wants Minion songs in a certain order, but I'm trying to drive in LA traffic and figuring it. But just somehow in here, I may just kind of close off. But
no, well, that's tough. What I would say is enjoy it as much as you can, because when they turn 18, they're gone, and you only see them 10% the rest of your life. I know that childhood goes like that.
I know. I'm constantly fighting time and trying to be in the moment because I know it's going to go like that. But
no, now we're going to switch that word "fight"
exactly
to "enjoy."
There you go.
So whenever you say the word fighting time, you're going to say, "I'm going to enjoy time." That's the first step right there.
And I need a lot of work. I'm
There's
putting myself
plenty of
back
help.
together slowly.
Yeah, no, we're all the same. We're all perfectly imperfect. The goal is not perfection, Rob. The goal is acceptance. You don't want to change a thing about yourself. You're perfectly fine. You do not need to change a thing except for this attitude and switch it over to an attitude of gratitude for yourself.
So just on that, how would I begin noticing, because you've already pulled me twice on that word, beginning with F. How do we start noticing when nobody's watching, like you're watching today and people, how do we do that when no one's watching?
Oh, it's, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's a learning process, and you cannot beat yourself up for it. I'm still getting my buttons pushed, of course. I'm a meditation teacher, and they think I'm supposed to be perfectly calm 24/7. Yeah. But you know what? It doesn't happen. I'm a human. We're human beings. And so it's a matter of acceptance and, oh, okay, I could have handled that a lot better. So next time you do, a little bit better. Just a little bit. It's baby steps. So you go, okay, I could have done that better. And then you could journal about it. How would I do it differently? Because putting pen to paper is really amazing. It gives a message to your brain that you're serious about this. And also it remembers things better.
So that'd be first kind of tip, write it down. Do the writing down.
Writing down is really good. Keep a little notebook with you, a little journal, and just go, okay, how I could have handled that better, what I would say to myself instead of I'm fighting this, whatever it is I'm fighting today. I'm fighting time. I'm fighting this, that, the traffic. I'm enjoying it. And instead of like, oh, I have to do this, say, I get to do it.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely. What did my therapist say to me the other week? He said, glass half full, Rob, not half empty.
Yeah.
That stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, God, you're so right. I'm always like, and my wife sometimes says that I'm constantly running with a black cloud over me.
Well, especially with children. You always have this worst case scenario.
Always.
Because you're trying to protect them.
Always.
It's come from safety. So I remember walking into a room with my kid as a toddler, and the first thing you look for is sharp edges, a vase, or something they're going to break, or a champagne glass they're going to grab. And you just scan a room as a parent, looking for danger. And unfortunately, after a while, you don't need to do that anymore. They've grown up and left the house, but you're still on high alert with everything else in your life. It's almost like you trained your mind, and you have to retrain it.
Oh, it's constant. Like last night when we went away for the night, we stayed in a hotel. We had 2 beds. My son always wants to sleep with my wife. My daughter, I'm sure she will eventually, but she didn't get a choice because she's only one. So I'm in the bed with her. I've cushioned the side of the bed. I didn't sleep last night at all because I'm just constantly in fear that she's going to roll out the bed.
Yeah.
It's just every little noise. I'm God, did she fall? I was just, and she's got. Honestly, I love sleeping with her in the sense of like I get to kind of cuddle and look at her, but it's just I don't even want to look at my Aura ring, what my sleep score was last night, because although we went to bed because we knew we had to be up at like 4, lights out were at 8:30. But I must have woken up 30 times, and it was just such a light because I'm just caught because she jiggles, she moves around a lot.
You don't do that every night, do you?
No, we don't co-sleep. It was just a one-off when we go to a hotel. They have their own, so we sleep train them pretty early, and they're great. They are great sleepers when they're on their own. My son, as he's getting older, likes to kind of creep. Mummy, Daddy, can I sleep with you 1 night a week? Now it's 2 nights a week, and we've kind of put a firm stop on that. But we've got friends who co-sleep every night. I'm like, how do you do it, guys? No.
Well, they must have a mattress on the floor, so if they do fall out, at least they fall on
the
mattress.
I mean, I try, because some of these beds now, you can't, they're nailed in, so you can't move them normally I'd move it to the wall. When we go to Airbnbs, I always rearrange the furniture. I'm like, but last night, I was just constantly seeing the worst vision, like she's going to fall. Like,
I would suggest you say to yourself, everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. Because quite frankly, if she fell out, she'd just start crying. I don't think she'd break her arm or anything. Is the bed that high? I mean, so there you go. You scan the room and you look for the worst case scenario, and then you drop it. You say, okay, I'm going to sleep now, because even if she does fall out, she's not going to die. She's all right. She's going to live. It's carpeted floor. There's no nails sticking up. You know what I mean? Just be reasonable with yourself, and just say, okay, she's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. And let that be your last words as you drift into sleep. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
I think sleep has always been my biggest kind of probably obstacle. I've just I'm somebody that has to kind of have sleep aids, melatonin, and like I say, I'm doing the breath work now. But I just want to get that sleep score better.
Well, we should do a sleep podcast. That's a whole new subject, because I taught a 6-week class on sleep, and I cured insomniacs of 20 years no sleep.
Well, I definitely would like to learn more about that. Before we finish, obviously we've got your book. Where can people buy it? Can you buy this on Amazon?
Yes, of course, on Amazon. Barnes and Noble have it.
Oh, wow.
And even if you don't like Amazon, go to your local bookstore. They can order it in easily.
Okay, perfect. So you've got this going on next week. You're doing your retreat. You told me in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk to me a little bit about when the retreat and what you do there.
Yeah, so we've been holding these retreats, and they are called Lighten Up retreats.
That's definitely, I need to be one of them.
It covers it all for me. I think people need a relaxation vacation, that if they're going to come home and they're not going to be bloated, overweight, and spend too much and hungover and all the rest of it. Sometimes you need a vacation after a so-called vacation. So this is a wellness trip where we give people a chance to just be alone with themselves.
So what kind of things would you do with them?
Well, for one thing, we always have a letting go ceremony around a burning bowl the first night. We let go of things. And this one is on New Year's Eve, this retreat. So there's a lot of really good goal setting we're going to do for the year ahead. And we always have a silent day, which people freak out about. No eye contact and no speaking from the waking up to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's only a day, but people are really pushed back against it. They think I'm punishing them, and it's like go in the corner or time out. And it's not, but okay, I said one guy was like that. He's like, I don't want to be rude to the waiter at breakfast, and I don't want to. I said, no, they've all been alerted. They know they can't make eye contact. They know you're not going to talk to them. Because what's good about a silent day is you don't have to have the obligation of niceties, social pleasantries, and, oh, what do they think of me? And what if I don't say, how's your morning? How are you? They're going to think I'm rude. It eliminates that for one day. It's such a gift to exist with other people and have no expectations from yourself. It's wonderful. It's peaceful. So I had the CEO of a big construction company push back on it. And I said, it's going to be fun. Just give it an hour. All right. Well, he sat under a palm tree and he was by himself. And at the end of the day, he had written poetry. He had cried about his kids. He had all this emotion come up. He said, it was so good. I'm going to do it every day. He did it every day, the rest of the trip. So, it's a wonderful gift, this silent day, but it's a little tough sometimes for people, but it's great.
Is it just individuals going, or do you get couples going?
Yeah, we get couples. We get, a lot of single people as well. And we get all ages. The oldest one on this trip is 82.
Wow.
And I think the youngest is going to be 24. So it's a whole range of just adults. Yeah. No
you get
kids.
the same people going to the...
Yes. Yeah. So I have a few VIPs, we call them. They come to all the retreats. And it's fun. You never know who you're going to get, but it's always exciting, and everyone loves it. It's always good. That's why I keep doing it, of course. If it was a pain in the neck, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, for
sure. It must be very rewarding.
It is.
So how does this inner peace, why does that matter so much beyond just the individual?
Oh, that's such a good question. Because I really believe that I want to make a contribution to world peace one peaceful person at a time. How can we ever spread peace if we aren't peaceful ourselves? And someone peaceful walks into a room, they exude it, and it
I felt that from you
ripples
today,
out.
as soon as I met you.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it does ripple out. I spent my time in the back of a Waymo meditating on the way here, as I wanted to get grounded for the interview. But that's how we do it. One peaceful person at a time. We need to make meditation more mainstream. I'm actually working on a documentary at the moment where we could try and reach more people globally.
It's funny you say that, because my mission is to sit here a year from now just helping one other brother man out there, and quite frankly, somebody who wouldn't be here today because he's seen me run across the country. That's my first goal. But then it's like, how do we help more men struggling? So if there's a man struggling there and he's lying there tonight and he's kind of hard on himself, what would you say that he says to himself? Like, there's millions of men out there who's going to go to bed tonight with the weight of the world on. What would be your advice to them?
Well, I think it's the same thing. I've been in that dark night of the soul myself. And what's pulled me out is thinking of the friends who might not say, I love you, but they really do feel it. And they would miss you so much. And that you already fill so many places in this world with your presence. But at the dark night of the soul, we don't see that. We only see what we lack. And it's very important to just stop and say, I am loved. Someone does love me. Even if it's your childhood friend and it's only one person that you could think of, that's a good start right there.
It's hard sometimes to kind of think that. And I've because I've been very close to suicide twice. And the second time I had my son was a baby at the time, and I had a wife, had a kid. But it's weird because you don't, and it sounds selfish because there's a misconception that when people commit suicide, they're doing it, they're not thinking about others, which is actually the opposite. Yes, they're doing it because they don't want to be a burden.
Because they think people are going to be better off without them.
Exactly. Yes. And that's exactly my thought process. It was never like, oh, they'll be sad. And I kind of thought they'll be sad, but it's like, no, they're better off without me here.
But they're not. Flaws and all. Everything you think is a flaw that's ruining their lives or you're unhappy and you're never going to be happy because they're not going to be the way you want them to be. I think feel your feelings without the danger of destroying yourself. It's okay. I think you need to be okay to go into that darkness, experience it, and get through that night any way you can. Wake up in the morning and know that, hey, I'm still here. And so it's good to feel your feelings, because otherwise you're going to drink your feelings or eat your feelings or fight them or fight someone else. Sure. So feeling your feelings, crying in your pillow, it's a good thing. It's actually good, because you don't want to carry that around pent up stuff. Let it out. Watch a funny movie the next day. Lighten up on yourself. Be good to yourself. Give yourself some good food. Take a nap, because you're going to be tired because you're up all night crying. And then, just every day gets a little better.
Kathryn, you've taught me in just under an hour today quite a lot. I'm intrigued to learn more about your book. I just think you're a fascinating human with so much. So if you haven't got this book yet, I would advise to go and get it. I'm going to read this, but is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners today on anything that you cover? Is there anything that I've missed?
Well, no, I think we covered it all. We have all the different types of meditation you can try.
But I love that.
Be open-minded.
Befriend yourself. I love that.
Be your own best friend. Treat yourself that way. And that picture is taken in Costa Rica on my retreat, too.
Beautiful. Well, you've taught me a big element today of not to say the F word anymore. And that's not the F word we're all thinking of. It's the fighting word. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to practice that. I'm going definitely start the meditation in the morning. So that's good advice as well, as opposed to just leave it to the end of the day. And yeah, just be a little bit kinder to ourselves.
Yeah, just keep checking in. How do I feel?
It's important, especially when we're so busy and we've got, everyone's always, I mean, everyone I speak to, friend, even my parents who are both retired and in the 70s and 80s, you know what everyone says? We're so busy today. Yeah. Everyone's always so busy. Like, I've got friends who don't work and, you know, not just mothers, but also fathers. And they go, I'm so busy. I'm like, why is everyone always so busy?
I know, exactly. You know what the Dalai Lama said? If you're too busy to meditate for 20 minutes, then you need an hour to meditate. You need an hour.
There you go. Well, we'll leave it on that point because that's probably advice right for me. Then I need to start doing it now. Kathryn, so much thanks. Thank you. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
On your trip. We'll be thinking of you. And I'd like to know, do you do those trips? Are they annual or how often do you do them?
Well, I took a year off to travel. I sold everything I owned and became a total minimalist, solo digital nomad for a year and a half. So we didn't do one that year. And this is the first one since then. And I did a lot of plant medicine ceremonies around the world. And so I went on my own journey.
When was that? Recently?
Yeah, that was like, I'm pretty new to LA. I'm finally accumulating stuff again and setting down some roots in LA. I love it here.
So where did you go?
Well, you know, I went after my retreat in Costa Rica. I went to Bali for a couple months. I went back to Sydney for a friend's wedding. I stayed all summer, had a great time, and did a lot of work there too. And then I went over to, where did we go after that? I think I went to Mexico after that and went to Tulum. And I finished my book in Tulum, actually.
Oh wow! All the spots. We were just in Noosa.
Oh, that's where I got engaged.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I've been to Noosa twice on my birthday.
Yeah, highly recommend it. I loved how slow everything went there. I loved it. We were there in September.
Oh,
amazing
lovely,
place.
Lovely. Yeah. It's paradise.
Yeah, it's my first time in Australia and loved it.
Oh, it's a good place to go.
Kathryn, thank you so much. Be following your journey, and well, hopefully, I think I'll be definitely in one of your retreats when I get back from this trip across America.
I think the next one might be Greece, Greek island, if you don't mind that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Never been to Greece. My wife loves Greece, her favorite place.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right, well, thank you again.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thanks, guys, for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode, and we will see you soon.